This comment section is so wild. If you don't believe in a higher power already, it might change your mind. I went through a breakup and asked God to bring me a better man. A week later, I met my soon-to-be husband. His last name is Better Man? What? I was angry with God for being infertile and kept saying, this feels like a joke God's playing on me. And on April Fool's Day, found out I was pregnant. I prayed in church to be forgiven and sobbed my eyes out. Not a believer yet. Then I was driving and a car cut me off and their license plate said, you're forgiven. My dad had a heart attack and was down for 30 minutes. All I could pray was, God, he's not done yet, over and over. When my dad saw me in the ICU, his first words were, I guess I'm not done yet. I begged God for a little more time with my kids, terminal cancer. I've been in remission ever since. It was my 16-year-old son's last attempt to be taken off life support. I begged God not to take my baby and promised I'd always believe if he saved him. Then I heard Mom. He's 22 now and in nursing school. Oh my God. Literally. I was sobbing, asking God, do you see me? And the actress in the movie I was watching for background noise said, he sees you, immediately after I asked that. Prayed for a sign that I was in the right degree. Went into a random Walmart one night and a man stopped me and told me that God told him to speak to me and tell me that I was going to excel in my career. God, should I move to Dallas? Moving truck with only the words move to Dallas drives by. Said, show me a sign, help me get closer to you. Cleaned up my house and a random guitar pick was on my floor. I picked it up. It said, pick Jesus on it. We don't own guitars. Asked God why my parents left when I was 8 and to help me not feel sad. Randomly opened my to Psalm 27:10. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will never leave me. I was in my car bawling, praying for God to show me he was with me after a rough day. Immediately my car dinged, showing that my passenger wasn't buckled up. I was the only one in my car. He's there. Single mom crying. I needed $300 immediately. Praying in my car and I decided to go through a stack of old mail. A check for $300 that a previous job shorted me. A few cents off, but almost the exact amount. I prayed in my head, Lord, I don't think you hear me. I'll keep praying, but you're not listening. I get tapped on the shoulder by a woman I don't know. She said, God told me to tell you that he hears you. I asked if a person and I were meant to be together. Asked God to show me a gold-colored car if we were. Get on I-40, saw a gold car with the license plate saying God's plan. What? During a really dark week in grad school, the only thing that kept me going was my morning Starbucks. 4 days in a row, a person ahead of me paid for my drink each time. Mine is actually this post. I was in prayer today struggling with doubt and wanted to find testimonies of God doing the miraculous to help increase my faith. Scrolling on my FYP and here comes your post. Out of pure curiosity, I asked God what it sounded like when he talked to Moses. I kid you not, I heard the loudest thunder in that moment. It even shook the windows. I got scared and said, maybe don't. My oven broke down and started smoking while I was making dinner. Right then, my mom rolled up with a new oven in her truck that the pastor gave her. He said he had a feeling we needed it. Worked at a daycare. Kids brought me a dead, dried up, sun-bleached ladybug and wanted to pray for it. I said, okay, but it's dead. We prayed and it walked across the table and flew away. Felt God asking my hubby and I to give everything in our bank account to a certain charity. We did, and 3 days later, we got a check in the mail for twice what we gave. Still don't know who sent it. A serial killer broke into our home, raised a knife over me at 9 years old. I screamed and he ran at my dad, and my dad yelled, in the name of Jesus Christ, get out. He froze and ran out of our house. Oh my God! My 2-year-old nonverbal daughter was diagnosed with autism. I prayed for days for her to speak. After 40 days of prayer, on the dot, she spoke words, and within weeks, all of her autism symptoms reversed. When I was little, I was praying, and I was like, well, God, how are you doing? I opened my devotional to a random page and underlined it said, the Lord is good. My son told me I prayed you would quit smoking last night. I said, man, I can't let him think God would let him down. I quit cold turkey, and that was God, not me. I haven't smoked again since that morning. My son was dead for 12 minutes. I screamed, please don't take him from me. They asked me to follow to the ER to claim his body. He was sitting up talking to the EMTs when we arrived. What? I was fully about to fail a big final. Prayed to God that I'd hear a sneeze when I read the answer to one question I was stuck on. Heard the sneeze, chose the answer, passed the class by 1 point. One time I was taking a test and nothing made sense to me, so I started crying and asked God to help me. I kid you not, the answers started appearing in bold font. How many of you were using God to pass classes? We lost our baby boy by miscarriage and we had named him Jedi. Not long after, we found out we were pregnant again and he was due on May the 4th. It felt like God was saying, May the 4th be with you. I was in a terrible abusive marriage and pregnant, but was financially stuck. I promised God I would leave if he would make a way. 3 weeks later, I got an inheritance I had waited on for 15 years. So glad you got out, girl. My mom passed when I was 15. 2 years ago, I became aware of my mommy issues and asked God to heal me. He sent my now fiance and a loving mother-in-law named Gina. My mom's name was also Gina. Call it God or the universe or whatever you want, but there's a higher power out there somewhere looking out for us.